The friends huddled in the dim, decaying hall of Giltine's manor, where flickering flashes lights cast long, jagged shadows across the peeling walls. The air hung thick with the musty stench of rot, and every creak of the ancient floorboards seemed to whisper doom. Rutara's nervous whimpers reverberated off the high ceiling, her wide eyes darting toward the shadows. Mantas draped a protective arm around her shoulders, his usual swagger faltering as his voice cracked. "We'll get out of here, okay? Just stay calm." Before anyone could respond, the temperature plummeted, and Giltine materialized in the center of the hall. Her skeletal form seemed to drink in the scant light, her hollow eyes glinting with malice. Giltine's voice rasped like grinding bones as she addressed them. "Second challenge, solve my riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? You have 5 minutes." A ghostly timer shimmered into existence, its glowing numbers ticking down with relentless precision. Rokas stepped forward, his jaw clenched with determination. "All right, everyone, focus. It's something non-physical, it speaks and hears without a body." Rutara's voice trembled as she clutched Mantas's arm. "A ghost, maybe? They don't have bodies." Ugner adjusted her scarf, her brow furrowed in thought. "Ghosts don't need wind to exist. What about a cloud? They shift with the breeze, almost like they're speaking." Jivile, standing slightly apart, shook her head, her expression eerily serene. "Clouds don't hear. It's something tied to sound." Rokas's eyes lit up as he snapped his fingers. "An echo. It repeats what it hears, and wind can carry or distort it." Mantas nodded eagerly, seizing the idea. "Yeah, echo. That's got to be it." The group turned to Giltine, their voices overlapping in urgency. "Echo?" Rokas asked, stepping forward as their spokesman. The goddess's skeletal lips curled into a cruel smirk, her eyes gleaming with malicious delight. "Correct," she hissed, pausing as the timer beeped its final warning. But too late. Mantas's face twisted in disbelief. "What? We answered in time." But Giltine was already moving. Her long, black tongue lashed out like a whip, coiling around Rutara's throat. The girl's hands flew to her neck, clawing desperately as her eyes bulged in terror. A sickening crack split the air, and she crumpled to the floor, her lifeless body sprawled across the dusty boards. Ugner let out a raw, anguished wail and dropped to her knees beside Rutar. "No! Rutar!" Tears streamed down her face as she cradled her friend's head, her fingers trembling against the still warm skin. Mantas, his face a mask of rage, snatched a heavy candlestick from a nearby table and swung it wildly at Giltine. The blow passed through her as Giltine vanished, only to reappear across the room with a chilling laugh. "You took too long to decide," she said, her voice dripping with mockery. "Hesitation has its price." Jivile remained still, her hands clasped behind her back, her face an unsettling blank slate. Rokas, his own tears brimming, whispered hoarsely, "This is real. We're actually going to die here." Ugner's grief morphed into fury as she rounded on Jivile. "Why aren't you crying? She's dead, and you're just standing there like it doesn't matter." Jivile's reply was flat, almost mechanical. "I am upset. I just don't show it the way you do." Mantas, still gripping the candlestick, turned his anger on her. "This is your fault, Jivile. You dragged us into this nightmare." Ugner's mind flashed to a bitter memory from the previous year, Mantas copying her homework, then pinning the blame on her when the teacher noticed. She'd been suspended for a week, her record stained, while he walked away unscathed. "You're a liar, Mantas," she spat, her voice venomous. "Just like when you cheated and let me take the fall. You haven't changed." Mantas paled, his bravado crumbling. "That was different. We were kids." Rokas, his own emotions a tangle of grief and fear, stepped between them. "Stop it, both of you. Fighting won't bring Rutar back. We need to stick together if we're going to survive." but the trust between them was splintering, cracks widening with every accusation and memory unearthed. Giltine's game was far from over, and the manor's shadows deepened around them, promising more horrors to come.